think it's better to be straight with people about the choices we face as a country. We face a choice of carrying on as we are and having that terrible exposure, and the cost of living crisis is still haunting so many people in our country, or to build the clean energy infrastructure that we need.
It's chaos in Labour HQ tonight. Ed Miliband's net zero dreams are crashing down, Keir Starmer's keeping ominously quiet, and Tony Blair just lit a match. This is the political meltdown no one saw coming, and it could decide the next election. Let's dive in. Labour's pledge to hit net zero by 2030 was supposed to be their crown jewel, but right now, it's turning into a crown of thorns. Ed Miliband, Labour's energy secretary, and the architect of their green agenda, is under fire like never before. Why? Because Keir Starmer, the man who needs this policy to win, won't even guarantee Miliband's job.
Will the Secretary of State actually, who's obsessed with renewable energy, be honest with the British people? Because the truth is that the offshore wind turbines bid today are some 20% above current prices. The floating offshore wind is some 3 times the current prices. His own department, Madam Deputy Speaker, say that actually this requires subsidies of some £1.5 billion a year. That's before the extra transmission costs, before the constraint payments, before the compensation payments for blighting the countryside of my constituents, and before the cost of backup when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine. So why would the Secretary of State be honest and tell the truth that renewable energy is more expensive, not cheaper?
Meanwhile, Tony Blair, Labour's most successful PM, just dropped a report calling their strategy irrational and economically suicidal. And behind the scenes, MPs are in open revolt. This isn't just a policy debate, it's a full-blown civil war. Let's start with the biggest red flag: Starmer's refusal to back Miliband. When asked if Miliband would stay in his role for a full 5-year term, Starmer dodged the question twice. Compare that to Rachel Reeves, Labour's shadow chancellor, who got a glowing, unequivocal endorsement. Why does this matter? Because in politics, silence screams louder than words. Starmer's team is terrified Miliband's eco-zealotry, as critics call it, will cost them key seats in the North and Midlands. Voters there worry green policies mean shuttered factories and sky-high energy bills. And Starmer, he's running for PM. He can't afford to lose them. Enter Tony Blair. The man who won 3 elections just released a report through his think tank, the Tony Blair Institute. His verdict? Labour's net zero plan is unworkable and alienates ordinary voters. Blair's solution? Slow down. Focus on tech, not taxes. And for God's sake, stop demonizing fossil fuels. Ouch. When Blair speaks, Labour listens, which is why Miliband's team is in panic mode. One insider even called Blair's intervention a dagger to the heart of their strategy. But the real danger isn't Blair, it's Labour's own MPs. Behind closed doors, they're fuming. One MP told the press Miliband's policies are catastrophic for working-class communities. Another warned Starmer, ditch him or we lose. And then there's the public spat. Last week, Miliband was heckled by his own side during a climate speech. The message, get real or get out. Even unions, Labour's traditional backbone, are muttering about job losses. This isn't just disagreement, it's mutiny. The fallout is everywhere. The Daily Mail's calling Miliband Captain Chaos. The Sun asked, is this Labour's green idiot? And online, it's a bloodbath. Even Nigel Farage is trolling Labour, calling net zero a middle-class crusade against ordinary Brits. All right, time for your take. 1. Should Starmer sack Miliband to save Labour's election hopes? 2. Is net zero by 2030 realistic, or a recipe for disaster? 3. Who's right? Miliband's visionaries or Blair's pragmatists? Comment below. I'll feature the best takes in my next video. Smash that like button if you think Labour's green agenda is hanging by a thread. And subscribe for more uncensored political breakdowns. Ring the bell so you don't miss the next explosive update. Thanks for watching, and remember, in politics, the road to net zero might just be paved with broken careers. Will Miliband survive, or is Starmer sharpening the knife? Stay tuned and stay skeptical.